All right, Kristen's gone. I've gotten a good night's rest. Went to bed last night like at 11. Woke up at 6:45. Got a little bit of the morning voice. Now I'm back at it. I want to get these 3 videos in the can and finish out this section. And then I'm taking off, getting on an airplane. I'm going to Michigan for a couple of days, see family. All right, so here's my solution to that hands-on exercise. We'll just let it be gravelly. And in this hands-on exercise, we're going to make a horizontal menu. So let me show you what that looked like, what my solution looked like, and then we'll look at the code. And so here it is. Totally awesome. If you got yours to go horizontal, fantastic. And now you can take a look at this CSS right here, and you can see what I applied to get it to do this. So font size 2rem and list style none, and I put both here. So you could use list style or list style type, and either one of those can be none. And this is the shorthand property, and then this is like the specific property that's being accessed. And then you have list item, border 2 pix solid red. So you can see that's the red border on the outside. Border radius 50 pixels, so that rounded the corners. Display inline block. So that took all the list items, made them inline block. And then we have anchor, and we have padding 10 pixels around the anchor. So here's the anchor in the middle. If you look at the HTML, it's an LI and then an anchor, right? The anchor's in the middle. And the anchor saying push out from the content. So that's the padding. Border 2 pix solid black. So you can see that's that inner black border. And display inline block. And then text decoration, none. So you can play with these to see what they do. Text decoration, none, right? We already know that one. Puts the horizontal line there. I have the LI hover background color. That makes it go green. So that's pretty self-explanatory. This right here is the line that's interesting. If I'm wanting my LI to go horizontal, why do I need my anchor to also be display inline block? Because anchor tags are by default inline elements, right? So why do I have to go inline block? What happens if I take this out? You ready? Whoa, that was a trip. So the red border just kind of collapsed, and now my hover is just over that little thing right there. So this display inline block lines them all up when I do that with the anchor tag. And let's see what it looks like if I take this off and the padding. Right? So it does that. With the padding on, kapow. Right? So the anchor has padding that's pushing out, which pushes out the black border. The LI does not have padding. So how would I get that red out there? Well, maybe I'd put padding on the LI. Cool, but you know, still I'm getting green right there, but I'm not getting the finger. I get the finger right here. So that's not a perfect solution. So maybe I'd want to go to my anchor and do a little bit more padding on the right, but that's kind of wonky. It's like, why aren't those lining up? So I'm going to take that out and refresh. And so how do I get that red out here? And the crazy thing is to get the border of the LI to match out there, I have to do anchor inline block. So I have to align and line up their display properties. They need to be the same display property. So this one is inline block. This one without changing it is inline. But when I make it inline block, they're both displaying the same, and then it works. So I put in a little FYI file here. And this FYI file explains it. So let's take a look at that. Because there are some nuances about display inline elements, inline block elements, some nuances about that. So here's some code. I have a block, right? Here's a div that's just going to be displayed block. It'll have a font size of 2rem, a width, a height, a border, and a background color. So that's being applied to everything, all these divs, right? And everything on this page. So this is being applied to everything on the page. This is being applied to all these divs. And then this one here, class I, is getting display inline. So these will be inline. And IB will be inline block. So let's look at how those play out. So let's take a second and grok this code. So here's normal block behavior. Here's inline block. It's acting like a block. It's acting like a block. A block is a block, right? It's like a playing block. And then here's inline. An inline is like a line. It's a thing that's in a line. And some of the characteristics here written out are inline elements respect left and right margins. Cool, so we could add a margin here. You know, it's respecting the margin. And padding, but not top and bottom. Interesting. Right? Because they're in line. They're in a line. You know, it's like a line of text or something, and what are you going to do? Shift one word way the heck down? And so it's got to be a line. So inline elements do not respect top and bottom because it's the line. They got to stay in the line. I hope that makes sense. And they cannot have a width and height set. Huh, interesting. Because width and height is being set right here on that div, but these are just conforming to the line. So I could bring these down here. This is the difference between a block level element and an inline element. And I could set this here, and I could just crank these up. Nothing. I'm hitting refresh right here. Nothing. Right? So inline elements have to be part of that line. They can't act like a block. And inline block, it can act like a block. So inline elements, left and right margins and padding, but not top and bottom, cannot have a width and height set. Allow other elements to sit to their left and right. Block elements respect all of those. Force a line break after the block element. An inline block, allow other elements to sit to their left and right. Respect top and bottom margins and padding. Respect height and width. So those are the characteristics. This is not at MDN. If you read MDN, it's hard to piece this together from MDN. But I linked to a Stack Overflow article that talks about it. So you can check that Stack Overflow article out. So when you look at our results here, if we don't want one of them to, you know, be totally whacked out, right, and acting as a element in a line, then we got to make them inline block. And that's both for the list item and for the anchor. So we make them inline block. They're going to respect width, height, margins, padding, top and bottom, that kind of thing. So that's why we had to use right here. That's the previous file. That's why we had to use right here. Kapow. Split vertically. Kapow. That's why we had to use right here inline block and inline block for both of those. So that's my solution. And the takeaway you should get from this video, you should really get that piece about block level elements are like blocks, right? Inline elements, they have to be in a line. And so their top and bottoms, right, width and height, they can't be changed. We can't change those. So just remember that and refer to this stuff right here. You might want to print it out and put it on your wall until it seeps in. All right, that's my solution for this hands-on exercise.